Hey, good morning, my friends. I'm Live Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa here. I don't think it's all bad. I'll be honest, we do have kind of an ugly weather situation early next week for about, let's call it Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Let's call it 3 days, maybe 4 days, and then I'm going to show you some improvements. So let's get on to it. We actually had some snow this morning again. Um, our weather spotter in the Grand Rapids area, Tonda Gamitter, says that she had a little bit of snow on the grass this morning. It has since melted. Hey, can I stop and say hi to some folks? Hey, my good buddy Mark Ambrosi, good morning to you. And Janet McClintock, good morning. And Rossi Fafelski, good morning from Jake and Rossi at Huntington Bank. Good morning to you folks there. All right, so now as we go through the day, it is late April, so we get a little help from warming temperatures. And so southern third of the state, you got some rain and snow showers, not anything really substantial. Let's look at the radar forecast. Noontime showers, Flint, definitely Ann Arbor, the whole Oakland County area, Detroit, whole Detroit area, Jackson, snowflake in there maybe, but more likely rain. 2 o'clock, 3, still showering in the southeast. So kind of two different weather patterns across the state today. Dry almost everywhere. Some spotty rain and snow showers far northern, lower Michigan, Houghton Lake to the Mackinac Bridge over to Alpena, Rogers City, Sheboygan, and then definitely showery in the southeast, kind of, more wet than dry, I guess I would say there. And 6 o'clock, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, midnight, and 1, winding down, setting us up for a pretty nice Wednesday. Okay, so now what we're going to look at here is we're going to look at the European model. We're going to look at the kind of the mode that takes it out 10 days. U.S. model shows about the same thing, so we're looking at a consensus, but looking at just one model. What you're going to see is an upper level storm system closes off over the Great Lakes. That is a showery type pattern as the winds swirl around it. It's a showery type pattern. Sometimes the clouds dissipate at night, build back up during the day. It's a slow to move out pattern, especially when the calendar says May 1st. And with the cold air aloft, we could see again some whiteness on the grass early next week. But once that dissolves, it's hard to imagine something that cold coming back again, and you'll kind of see that at 10 days out. That's why I said we're going to find some good in this too, okay? And as always, I feel like my whole mantra should be just have patience, because that's what we generally need in weather here in Michigan. Hey, Colleen Brewer, I hear you. Everybody hears you. My hummingbird feeders are out. A joke. Umeko Hasegawa? How did I do on that one? That one was a tongue twister for me. Yeah, your hummingbird feeders are frozen. So here we are into tomorrow, and tomorrow's not a bad day. Not much wind. We will get some sunshine. We still have the cold air aloft that builds clouds, but probably not showery. Thursday better. Thursday, good outside project day. Friday, storm system in the southeast, maybe just glancing the far southeast corner, Detroit area, St. Clair County, Monroe, maybe Ann Arbor, just for a short time period, just a glancing blow right there. Otherwise, fairly nice. Saturday, not too bad. The next storm system starting to develop, and that's where we get that closed off storm center forming by Saturday night or Sunday. And there it is, churning around. Monday churns around our area and comes back toward us on Tuesday. That's Tuesday evening. That right there is like just shut the curtains and wake up in a couple of days type weather. That's Tuesday. And then Wednesday, it starts to sweep off. And by Thursday, it's just a memory. This is 10 days out, and you can see how dramatically the cold pocket was used up. Josh Peters, you have commented a few times on the trend the past decade for warmer winters shifting into colder springs. What's the cause for this pattern? Hey, we'll address that right now. The weather has certain cycles, and when the winter cycle has gotten messed up, there's cold air that needs to be used up. Even in a warming globe atmosphere, there's cold air that needs to be used up. Instead of coming down and dispersing in the winter, that last one oftentimes comes down in March and early April. And because the rest of the atmosphere wants to build warmth, that cold gets kind of just log jammed in the eastern part of the U.S. And so the Marches and early Aprils have not mathematically become a lot colder, but we become sensitive to the fact that we got through what, let's face it, more people dislike winter than like winter. I would say it's probably 70% of the people dislike winter and 30% of the people love winter in Michigan. I always call it 50-50, but it leans more toward disliking. So we get through a winter that's fairly mild, and then we want the temperature to go up, and it kind of levels off. And that's what we're facing right now. So I always use the analogy of the lava lamp. If you remember the lava lamp back in the 70s, you turned the light bulb on and the blobs started traveling up and down, kind of in a rhythmical cycle. And then one blob would come down and hit another blob and disrupt everything, and it would be all jumbled up for a minute or two before it got back on a cycle. That's kind of what happens, only as our weather changes, it happens on the decadal cycle, not just for a minute or so. So there you see it. Sunday into Monday, Tuesday, not going to be real pretty. Temperatures starting to reflect the April power of the sunshine. Not so much today, as we look at highs of about, 50 in most places, maybe only mid 40s in the southeast where the showers hang on. Ken Forsyth, yes, you can cut the grass. Certainly, I cut it. You cut the grass whenever it's ready. So cutting grass will not hurt it, even if it gets cold. You can get what they call frost burn on the frayed edges, but it'll grow right out of it. Wednesday, tomorrow, low 50s. Thursday, a lot of places hitting the 60-degree mark. Friday, maybe cooler in the southeast if you get that rain. But otherwise, temperatures 60 to 63. Saturday, 60s. Sunday, the colder air starts to move in. Look, 57 Detroit, 55 Ann Arbor, 34 in Ironwood. Monday, cold air oozing in a little more, 40s. Tuesday, the center of the upper low right over us, and that leads to a cold day with highs, maybe struggling to hit 40 degrees. But then Wednesday it pulls out, we're back to the low 50s, and by Thursday we're back to the low 60s, which is about normal for that time, for early May. So, less than desirable over the whole 7 to 10 day period, but getting a lot better at times. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, not bad. And then late next week, turning better. And spring will have sprung, I do believe, by that point. Hey, thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. We do appreciate you using our weather forecasts, and we appreciate very much that you share this information with your friends. Thank you. Take care.